So I thought this might be a nice opportunity to turn it over to our alumni, Zach and Francine, who can talk a little bit about where they've gone with their degrees and also what sort of seeds they planted while they were still in their program to prepare them for what was going to come next.
Well, I was like taking some notes on the chat about what people might be interested in hearing. So I graduated and my primary genre was fiction, but my first book that was published was poetry. And my second book is going to be short fiction. And then I've worked on a TV show and I teach. And basically my full-time job is writing. And I've been going strong with that for 5 years. As a little intro to me, I guess, Zach.
Yeah, since the program, I was staffed on a show called Shadowhunters for a season, and that was fun and very strange. And then since then, I've been writing Christmas movies for Hallmark, which has also been fun and very strange. But for me, I think one of the things that I always tell people about the program is that I went in knowing that I wanted to learn more about screenwriting. I didn't know how to end things very well, it just as hard as I tried. And I came out sort of knowing so much more about honesty because I took creative nonfiction. And I learned a lot about structure from my fiction classes. And so the fact that the multi-genre, I think it's what surprises a lot of people in the program is that we come out of that able to speak about story and able to speak about a wild number of different kinds of writing that is enormously beneficial in writers' rooms and meetings and everywhere that I've gone. That's what's been not even surprising at this point, but it wasn't what I saw coming when I signed up for the program, but has really been the best part of it for me.
I agree. I went in wanting to write novels, and like that was like the only thing I had in my brain. And
Yeah.
now but being able to, like, I took graphic forms, for example, and now I've been hired to teach like comic book writing to kids, right? Like being able to take every single thing, like I filled out my plate so full and I took every single class I could possibly take. I think I might have taken every class offered except for lyric and libretto.
Yep.
Um, yeah, like why
I think
not,
I did do that. Yeah. I think everyone else, yeah, pretty much.
right?
I would say that I saw someone say that the 550 teaching class sounds fantastic, and it is.
Yes.
I did it in the last. It was the last class I took in the program at the summer session, and it was unbelievable. Like it was invaluable in a way that I didn't know how much I loved teaching until I took it, and now this is absolutely my favorite thing that I do during the course of a week.
Yeah, like I teach also, and I've been teaching I mean, I started teaching before I graduated. So my plan of action, because I knew that I wanted this to be my life, was
Mhm.
like year one, I got a job like volunteering, teaching to youth. And so I knew I had like the years of my MFA to sort of build up my resume so that when I graduated, I would be ready to get a job and get paid for it.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And now I get flown across Canada to give creative writing workshops. And like that's what I do all year is I'm just like back and forth, just going to different places giving workshops. Because one thing I did was I created like my package, like I packaged myself as to like what I could teach. And then I created workshops. And now when people ask me, I go, I can give you this one, 3 hours, this one, 1 hour, this one day long. Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, I've started doing that too. One of the things that occurred to me this week too is so I teach adjunct at UBC, but I also have two other universities where I sometimes teach, and I've been going to a lot of meetings with faculty about how to respond to all courses moving online, and mostly I have to say that UBC has by far exceeded how they talk about the student body and how are we supporting the student body, that another, we sort of, well, I hope everyone can do it. And UBC has been like, no, let's engage. Let's share information about what's working for you, what's not working for you. And so the care that has gone into adapting to this period of time has been really astounding and notable, I think, among other creative writing programs, is one of the things that I've been really struck by, actually.
One thing I did, because one of the other people talked about the friends that you make in the program. So for me, my writing accountability buddies that I had in the program are still with me today. And 5 years later, we still meet once a week to keep each other on track and focused. And so those are people I met in the program, and we've stayed together doing it. And that has been really beneficial. And also the alums that I graduated with have been the people who really like have been throwing me gigs. Maybe they work for a magazine and they're the people who are interviewing me. They're people who are putting me on their podcast. Like the network is really big and it really stays for a long time.
For Optras, I would also say that it's international. I did not know a lot. I mean, I knew like one way of story arcs, and then I was in a screenwriting class with this woman who blew my mind talking about Korean story structure, and that part of it was a pretty shocking realization, and it's broken me off into whole other courses of study and ways to tell stories. So that's really helpful.
Can I ask you each to speak very briefly to like, what do you wish you'd known? If you could give yourself advice looking back through the application process or to your time in the degree, what do you wish you could tell your former self?
Um, I would tell myself to work harder. But I don't know, I was just like in the university mindset. But I mean, like, I probably would have just, yeah, I know that sounds bad, but I probably would have told myself to work hard, just because now that I'm out and I realize how hard you have to work every day, it's like, I would have been, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. Actually, it's you build these skills and these habits in the program that are really helpful. And I think the sooner that you decide I have to build these better habits now when you start, the better off you will be. Overall, I think, yeah. For me, I would have said to not sort of be so myopic about here is what I need to learn, because the things that opened up for me were really the thing that the stuff I didn't see coming was the stuff that's been the most valuable now later. So whatever it is you think you're going to do, it's going to get bigger.